Have you ever wondered, what remains when everything we thought was forever disappears in an instant? The wildfires in California have not only destroyed millions of acres of forests, homes, and lives but also posed a profound question: what are we truly holding on to in life? And is there anything permanent amidst the ever-changing flow of existence? Amidst the ashes of these fires, we don't just see loss, we find invaluable lessons about impermanence, a core teaching in Buddhism. According to the Buddha, impermanence is not just a natural phenomenon but also a key to understanding the true nature of life. Join Life Lessons as we explore the deep insights from Buddhism that can help us face loss, learn to let go, and rediscover peace amidst the unpredictability of life. 1. Impermanence, the nature of all things. Buddhism teaches that everything in life is impermanent. It arises, changes, and eventually ceases. The California wildfires vividly demonstrate this truth. Forests that stood tall and vibrant for decades were reduced to ashes in a matter of hours. But is this truly the end? Impermanence doesn't only signify loss, it also represents renewal. From the ashes, nature will regenerate, stronger and more vibrant. Similarly, in life, when we face loss, it is an opportunity to begin anew, to live more fully, and to cherish more deeply. Question for the audience: have you ever experienced a major life event that ultimately changed you for the better? Share your story in the comments. 2. Letting go to find freedom. Looking at the ashes after a wildfire, we learn the lesson of letting go. Buddhism teaches that the root of suffering lies in clinging, whether to possessions, relationships, or even our own expectations. When we learn to let go, we experience relief and freedom. After the wildfires, Californians had to let go of what they had lost and begin rebuilding their lives from scratch. Similarly, when facing loss in life, instead of holding on, focus on the present and take action. Question for the audience: is there something in your life you find hard to let go of, but know you need to? How do you think letting go could transform your life? 3. Compassion, a healing connection. The wildfires didn't just devastate the environment. They displaced millions of living beings, both people and animals. Compassion, the ability to empathize and care for others, is a quality Buddhism encourages us to cultivate. In the face of disasters, we can choose to view the situation through compassionate eyes, by helping those affected, protecting the environment, and treating all living beings with kindness. Question for the audience: when was the last time you showed compassion to someone else? How did it make you feel afterward? Wildfires remind us of life's impermanence. Instead of fearing or lamenting change, we can learn to let go, understand, and act with compassion. If you found these lessons meaningful, don't forget to like, share this video, and subscribe to Life Lessons for more insightful content on life, Buddhism, and finding peace amidst challenges. Share your thoughts in the comments. What's the biggest lesson you've learned about impermanence from the story of wildfires? We'd love to hear from you. Thank you for watching, and may you always find peace in every moment. Part 1. Understanding impermanence in Buddhism. Visual: nature changing over time, blooming flowers in spring, falling leaves in autumn, and snow in winter. Introduction. Buddhism teaches us that impermanence is the natural essence of life. Everything in the universe, from trees and people to mountains and oceans, is in a constant state of change. The wildfires in California provide a vivid reminder of this truth. Lush green forests that once housed countless creatures can be reduced to ashes overnight. Yet, from this destruction, nature begins its process of renewal and rebirth. Question for the audience: have you ever experienced a moment that made you truly understand impermanence? Share your story in the comments below. What is impermanence? In Buddhism, impermanence is the understanding that everything in existence is transient. Nothing remains forever, all things undergo the cycle of birth, existence, change, and dissolution. Whether it's the life of a person, a relationship, or even mighty mountains, everything is subject to this universal law. The Dhammapada states, all conditioned things are impermanent. When one sees this with wisdom, one is freed from sorrow. This means that recognizing the impermanence of all things helps us release attachment, enabling us to find liberation from suffering. Wildfires in California, a clear manifestation of impermanence. The wildfires in California serve as a stark illustration of impermanence. Vast green forests that once provided shelter to countless animals are reduced to ashes within hours by uncontrollable flames. While this destruction is heartbreaking, it also reminds us of the transient nature of all things in life. Buddhism teaches that destruction is not the end. From the ashes, new life emerges. Seeds buried deep in the soil, activated by the heat of the fire, sprout and bring forth new forests. Nature continually renews itself, mirroring the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Understanding impermanence. The key to overcoming suffering. Acknowledging and accepting impermanence is a crucial step in overcoming suffering. Why do we suffer? It's because we cling to things we wish to keep unchanged. We want our health to remain perfect, our relationships to last forever, and our possessions to stay intact. Yet, reality often contradicts our expectations. When a forest burns, we feel a deep sense of loss. But if we understand that the forest was never meant to exist eternally and that destruction is part of nature's cycle, we can face this reality with greater peace of mind. Applying the lessons of impermanence to daily life, we can integrate the teachings of impermanence into our lives through simple yet profound practices. 1. Appreciate the present moment. Since everything is fleeting, this moment is all we truly have. Live fully in the present instead of being consumed by past regrets or future anxieties. 2. Let go of attachments. When faced with loss, remind yourself that what you've lost was never meant to last forever. Letting go doesn't mean giving up, it means accepting and moving forward. 3. See opportunity in change. Just as nature regenerates after wildfires, we can find new beginnings in life's challenges. Embrace change as a chance for growth and transformation. A wise perspective from Buddhism. Buddhism doesn't view impermanence as something to fear. Instead, it's an opportunity to gain deeper insight into life. It teaches us that everything is interconnected and that nothing exists independently or eternally. When we look at California's wildfires through the lens of impermanence, we see this truth in action. Loss and renewal are two sides of the same coin. Without destruction, there can be no rebirth. Embracing impermanence is a lifelong journey, but it's one of profound value. It not only helps us navigate life's challenges with greater ease but also allows us to live more peacefully and authentically. Have you ever experienced a moment that made you truly understand impermanence? If so, what lesson did you take away from it? Share your story in the comments below. Part 2. Letting Go, a Lesson from Ashes. Narration. Looking at the ashes after the forest fires, we realize that clinging to material possessions or emotions only leads to suffering. Buddhism teaches that letting go is not about loss, but liberation. Letting go of what we cannot hold on to allows us to feel lighter and more ready to face the present. When the forests are destroyed, nature does not try to get back what was lost. Instead, it lets go and begins a new cycle, where life is reborn. Letting go in Buddhist teachings. Letting go, upekkha in Pali, is a central concept in Buddhism. The Buddha taught that the main cause of suffering is attachment and clinging. People often try to hold on to things they love, whether it's possessions, relationships, or fame. But life is impermanent, and everything we possess can disappear at any time. In the Dhammapada, the Buddha emphasizes, nothing in the world lasts forever. When we understand this, the wise let go of all attachments and find peace of mind. Letting go does not mean neglecting responsibilities or living indifferently. It means we learn to live with the understanding that everything is impermanent. When we accept this, our minds become lighter, no longer bound by what is lost or what we cannot control. Ashes and the lesson of letting go. Look at what remains after the forest fires in California: charred tree trunks, collapsed homes, and destroyed memories. These images are heartbreaking, but they also awaken a realization: nothing is permanent. When nature endures destruction, it doesn't struggle to take back what has been lost. Instead, it lets go and begins a cycle of renewal. Seeds deep within the ground are activated by the fire's heat and start to sprout. Soon, new growth emerges, bringing hope and new life. Similarly, in life, when we lose something, whether it's a loved one, a possession, or a relationship, the suffering often comes from our inability to let go. But if we learn to accept and loosen our grip, we'll find that loss isn't the end. It may be the beginning of a new chapter in our lives. Benefits of letting go. 1. Releasing suffering. When we stop clinging to what we cannot keep, the pain in our hearts gradually fades. Just like the ashes after the fire, when we clean up and let go, our souls feel lighter. 2. Focusing on the present. Clinging to the past or worrying about the future causes us to miss the present moment. When we let go, we can focus more on what is happening around us and live fully in the here and now. 3. Making room for new things. Letting go of the past makes space for new opportunities. Just as nature is reborn after the fire, our lives can be filled with new hope and potential when we embrace letting go. How to practice letting go in daily life. 1. Meditate on impermanence. Spend time each day meditating on the impermanence of life. Remind yourself that everything has a beginning and an end. 2. Observe your emotions. When facing loss, instead of denying or resisting your emotions, observe them. Accept the pain as a natural part of life and allow it to pass through. 3. Practice gratitude. Be grateful for what you have, even if it is temporary. A grateful heart helps you cherish the present and ease the suffering of losing something. 4. Learn from nature. Nature is a great teacher of the lesson of letting go. Look at how forests regenerate after a fire or how fallen leaves nourish the earth. From this, you will see that letting go is not the end, but a preparation for a new beginning. Audience question. What are you finding difficult to let go of in your life? Is it a relationship, a past failure, or an unmet expectation? Share your story in the comments. Perhaps letting go could bring you peace. Letting go is a lesson that isn't easy to practice, but when you dare to release what no longer serves you, life becomes lighter and freer. Just like nature lets go of what has turned to ash, allowing for new growth, we too can find peace in letting go. Part 3. Part 3. Compassion for all living beings. Image. Scenes of firefighters rescuing animals, volunteers caring for injured wildlife. Narration. Wildfires not only affect humans but also bring immense suffering to millions of innocent creatures. In the face of such disasters, compassion is what we must cultivate. When we witness these heartbreaking scenes of helpless animals fighting for survival in the fire or the courageous volunteers tending to injured wildlife, we realize the power of compassion in alleviating suffering and restoring hope. Buddhism reminds us that all beings are interconnected. Each one of us, from humans to animals, is part of the vast web of life. When one being suffers, it is not just their pain but part of the collective suffering of the entire universe. Therefore, compassion, Karuna, in Buddhism is not merely about feeling sympathy for others' pain, it is about understanding the interconnection between all beings and taking action to ease their suffering. Compassion in Buddhism is not just an emotion, it is an act. We don't simply notice the pain, we take steps to alleviate it, even in small ways. Just like the brave volunteers who risked their lives to rescue animals or the firefighters who courageously faced the flames to protect both people and animals in the forest. These actions reflect the deep compassion taught in Buddhism. Such acts of selflessness demonstrate love and care in the face of adversity. Compassion in Buddhism. Compassion is one of the most noble virtues in Buddhism. According to the teachings of the Buddha, metta, loving-kindness, and karuna, compassion, are central to cultivating a harmonious life. To understand compassion, we need to look at these two core concepts in Buddhism. Metta, loving-kindness. It is the unconditional love for all beings, without any judgment or discrimination. It is a state of mind that seeks to bring happiness and peace to all, regardless of their status, circumstances, or background. Karuna, compassion. It is the feeling of sorrow and empathy towards the suffering of others, coupled with the desire to alleviate that suffering. Compassion is not passive. It involves action, taking steps to ease the pain of others, whether they are human or animal. Both metta and karuna are qualities that help us live harmoniously with ourselves and others. Buddhism teaches that when we practice compassion, we not only bring relief to others but also find peace within ourselves. Compassion allows us to recognize that each kind act, no matter how small, creates positive ripples in the world. Lessons from wildfires. When we look at the wildfires in California, we can't help but feel sorrow for the destruction of nature and the innocent lives that are affected. But in these moments of tragedy, we also witness human compassion. Firefighters bravely rushing into danger to save lives, volunteers working tirelessly to care for injured animals, these are all expressions of compassion in action. These acts of kindness don't just save lives, they heal hearts and offer hope. Compassion in Buddhism teaches us that every being, regardless of its form, is deserving of respect and care. It doesn't matter if it's a human being, a tree, or an animal, each one plays a role in the interconnectedness of life. The suffering of any being is the suffering of all. So when we offer our help, no matter how small the gesture, we are making a positive impact on the world. Compassion in everyday life. Compassion is not just something to practice in grand gestures but in our daily interactions. In every situation, we have the opportunity to express compassion through empathy and action. Whether it's lending an ear to someone in need, helping someone in distress, or even being kind to the environment, every small act counts. We also need to show compassion to ourselves. In our busy, demanding lives, we often forget that we deserve kindness and care. Compassion for ourselves allows us to heal and find inner peace. It's important to take care of our mental and physical well-being so that we can extend our compassion to others. Question for viewers. When was the last time you showed compassion towards someone or nature? Please share your story in the comments. Compassion is not just about feeling, it's about action. How have you acted to alleviate someone's or something's suffering? Compassion in Buddhism is not just an emotion, it is a practice, an active engagement in easing the suffering of others. In life, no matter the difficulties we face, we can always choose to express compassion to help alleviate the pain around us. Just as in the wildfires, compassion can heal wounds, restore hope, and bring life back to the ashes. It's through these acts of kindness that we contribute to the cycle of life and rebirth, full of compassion and interconnectedness. If you found this lesson insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Life Lessons to receive more teachings on Buddhism and life wisdom. We can learn a lot from compassion to build a better and more harmonious world. Part 4, Rebirth and Hope. Images. New sprouts growing from the burned earth, a clear blue sky after the fire. Narration. In Buddhism, one of the important teachings is impermanence and rebirth. These teachings apply not only to natural phenomena but also to human life. Every end is the beginning of something new. And in moments of suffering, we can always find an opportunity to be reborn and grow. When a wildfire burns everything down, the land may seem devastated, but in reality, it is being renewed. Preparing for new life. Seeds deep in the soil begin to sprout, trees will grow again, and from the ashes, nature will be reborn. This is a clear testament to one of Buddhism's key teachings on rebirth. All things, even loss and suffering, can lead to an opportunity for growth, rebirth, and the continuation of life. Similarly, in our own lives, we cannot escape the wildfires of loss, sorrow, and hardship. Major events may make us feel like our world is collapsing, as if all hope and faith are being burned to the ground. However, in those darkest moments, Buddhism offers us a valuable lesson. It is an opportunity to be reborn. Suffering and loss are just part of a larger cycle of life. In Buddhist teachings, rebirth is not only about the physical renewal of life but also the renewal of the soul. We cannot avoid difficulties, but we can change the way we perceive them. When we face suffering, rather than reacting negatively, we can see things through the lens of Buddhism. It is an opportunity to be reborn, to let go of unnecessary things, to find inner peace, and to become stronger. Rebirth through suffering. Buddhism teaches that suffering is an essential part of life, and it is the condition that allows us to grow. We cannot have peace and serenity without facing challenges and suffering. Just as the land must endure the cold of winter to prepare for the spring, we too must face hardships to develop and grow. Suffering is not an end but the beginning of a new journey. Pain allows us to become more deeply aware of life's nature, and from there, it brings about positive transformation within our hearts. Just like the wildfire, which may destroy everything, after it, there is rebirth. The seeds in the ground still exist, and after a time, trees will grow back stronger. Buddhism does not teach us to avoid suffering, but to embrace it, recognizing that suffering is an inseparable part of the process of transforming the soul. When we face suffering, we can learn to let go of negative emotions, accept what has passed, and open our hearts to rebirth. Hope from rebirth. Hope is an essential element in the process of rebirth. When we face challenges, sometimes hope may be the only thing that keeps us moving forward. Buddhism teaches that hope is not about expecting a specific outcome, but about trusting in the possibility of rebirth and change. Every challenge in life is an opportunity for us to learn, to become a better version of ourselves. Hope is about believing in a brighter future, even when the present is full of difficulties. From the ashes of life, from the major events we face, there is always an opportunity to begin anew. To be reborn and grow. Buddhism encourages us not to stop believing in our ability to be reborn, even if we have to go through repeated setbacks. It is through these failures that we find the strength to rise and move forward. Question for the audience. Have you ever gone through a major event and felt the rebirth in your soul? Share your experience in the comments so we can learn from each other. Your story may inspire others to rise in life. From the wildfire to the challenges we face in life, all carry lessons of rebirth and hope. Buddhism not only helps us face suffering but also teaches us how to see hardships as an opportunity for rebirth. Every end is a new beginning. When we learn to embrace impermanence, we will find peace and hope, even in the darkest moments. If you found this lesson helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Life Lessons channel for more meaningful videos about life, spirituality, and happiness. Share your story, and let's learn and grow together in life. Part 5. Action for the present. Images, the community of California working together to replant forests and rebuild homes. Narration. In Buddhist teachings, living fully in the present moment is essential to finding peace and happiness. Buddhism encourages each of us to take action in the here and now, rather than being overwhelmed by past regrets or future anxieties. Practicing mindfulness allows us to recognize that no matter the difficulty or challenge, we always have the power to create change right from the small actions we take in life. Mindfulness and action in the present moment. Buddhism teaches us that life is a continuous flow, and every moment is precious. While many are still grieving the losses caused by the wildfires in California, Buddhism offers us a way to face such losses without sinking into sorrow. In order to move forward, we must act in the present moment. Mindfulness helps us clearly understand what is happening in our lives. And it's a reminder of our responsibility to protect and care for the things that exist around us. The wildfires serve as a powerful reminder that we need to collectively protect nature. Live more simply, and live in harmony with the environment. That is why, according to Buddhism, action is the only way we can overcome the hardships in life. The impact of small actions. In the wake of the California wildfires, the community's efforts to replant trees, rebuild homes, or assist affected families are not only practical actions but also deeply rooted in Buddhist values. These efforts demonstrate compassion and loving kindness toward those who are suffering. Buddhism emphasizes that actions not only change the material circumstances, but they also affect our minds and spirits. A small action, like planting a tree, might not change the world immediately, but it contributes to the regeneration of our planet. Each tree planted, each action taken to protect the environment, is a meaningful gesture and a mindful action. We cannot change everything all at once, but through small steps, we can create a better world, just as Buddhism teaches us about patience and loving kindness. Living in harmony with nature. When Buddhism emphasizes that everything in the universe is interconnected, this applies to our relationship with nature as well. Maintaining a lifestyle in harmony with nature not only helps protect the environment, but also brings peace to the soul. Living simpler, conserving energy, reducing waste, and creating green spaces in our communities are all practical actions that individuals can take. Compassion and loving kindness in action. One of the essential aspects of mindful action is compassion and loving kindness for all sentient beings. Volunteers rescuing animals, firefighters saving lives, and organizations supporting victims all embody compassion and loving kindness in their actions. It is because of these actions that those affected can find hope and strength to continue. Loving kindness is not just a matter of words, it must be demonstrated through real-world actions. Think about what you can do right now to help those around you. Small, but loving actions can make a huge difference, and we can all be part of creating meaningful change. Participating in charitable activities, helping the community, and protecting nature are all examples of actions that reflect the compassion and loving kindness encouraged in Buddhism. Creating lasting change. From these small actions, we can create significant change. Buddhism teaches us that no task is too small if done with sincerity and patience. Taking action now will not only help solve current problems but also build a strong foundation for a better future. We cannot change everything overnight, but every step and every action will have a far-reaching impact. Action in the present is how we express compassion, understanding, and responsibility toward all living beings. In life, we must realize that every small action contributes to creating a more peaceful and sustainable world. Question for the audience. What have you done to contribute to change in your community? Could you start with small actions today to protect nature and help those around you? Conclusion. The wildfires in California are a powerful reminder of the impermanence of life. Forests that once stood tall and lush, in just moments, were reduced to ashes. This serves as a vivid demonstration of the constant changes in nature. But rather than seeing only loss and sorrow, through the lens of Buddhism, we can also recognize the profound lessons about impermanence, letting go of what cannot be kept, compassion for all beings, and rebirth after hardship. In Buddhism, impermanence is one of the deepest truths that we need to understand in order to live peacefully. Life is always changing, and all things, whether trees, people, mountains, or oceans, will eventually pass away. Therefore, clinging to things that cannot last will only bring us suffering. We must learn to let go of what no longer serves our inner peace, so that we can renew our hearts and embrace the new opportunities for rebirth. Additionally, compassion and love for all beings is a vital virtue emphasized in Buddhism. The efforts to help and support the community during the wildfire disaster are a clear example of showing compassion, not just for people, but also for the natural world and all the creatures affected. Every small action, whether it's rescuing wildlife or assisting those who've lost their homes, reflects the Buddhist spirit of unconditional love and sharing. Finally, every loss is an opportunity for rebirth. In every fire, every storm, every hardship, if we look at it with a positive and mindful attitude, we will realize that every end is simply a new beginning. Just as the forest burned down can give birth to new growth, so too can our lives begin anew after facing challenges. Let's live in harmony with nature and fully embrace every moment of the present. Let us appreciate what we have, and let go of what no longer serves us. The lessons from this wildfire can help us live more deeply, love more fully, and see more clearly the impermanence of life. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to the Life Lessons channel to spread these valuable insights to others. Share your thoughts on the lessons from the wildfire in the comments below, so we can learn and grow together. What are your thoughts on the lessons from the wildfire? Please leave your comments below. If you found this video meaningful, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring videos about life and Buddhist teachings.